Hi, this is Robert Fly, Paramotors.com. Today I'm going to be showing you how to replace a piston on an air conception Tornado 280. So let's get into it and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so the first step here is we're going to remove the spark plug here. We're going to remove the spark plug out. Then what we're going to do is remove the 3 bolts that hold the exhaust over here. So we're going to remove these 3 bolts and we're going to slide this off. And then we're going to loosen the 4 bolts over here. Okay, we also want to remove the propeller and get the propeller out of the way. So we're going to remove the cylinder head right now. There you go. And now we're going to remove the cylinder. Just pull it off evenly. And that will expose your piston right there. Okay, so we removed the exhaust right here also, this part right here, so that's why we needed to remove it. Okay, so now the next step is we're gonna take off this piston here, and what we have to do is there's a little ring right here inside, and you just kind of use like a little flat screwdriver to pry it out a little bit like that, and then you can use sometimes it just pops right out. Okay, there you go. And now what we have to do is there's going to be basically in here is this, and what we need to do is tap this out so we can get the piston off. So that's going to be the next step. So once this ring is removed, then this part in here will just slide out, so just start pushing it towards you. There it is. So once this comes out about halfway, you might want to use a needle nose plier to pull the rest of it out. There you go, and that's came out right now. And now you got to be careful in there, there's bearings and stuff in there, so just pull it out. There goes the piston, and we want those bearings because we're going to reinstall those or put new ones back in there. So there it is, it's out, and that's how simple it is to remove the piston. And now we're going to reinstall it and walk you through that process. So when you're installing this, guys, a little tip is make sure you align your rings with this little area right here. You'll see it. So the ring, when it gets compressed, it cannot move. There's one here and one over there. You don't want to have this ring over and then try to push it on because it won't let it go in. So just make sure it's all lined up and then you slide it in like that. So these 2 little marks here are very important that you align the ring up like that. All right, so the next process here is the next process here is to put your roller bearing back in there, and now we're gonna slide the piston on there. Okay, so one very important step here is on your new piston, you will see there is a number on it. Okay, and this number has to be facing down towards your exhaust. Okay, so when you're installing it and you slide in, that number has to be facing towards your exhaust port. Okay, so make sure when you install your piston that this number isn't on top over here, because then you have it in the wrong way and you're going to blow up your piston. So make sure this number is facing towards your exhaust. Okay, and then when you put your cylinder on, make sure you have it facing this way to your exhaust port. It's a very important step. If you have this number flipped up this way, you're going to blow your piston. So make sure when you install that, you do it the correct way. This right here, I put a little oil on that. So we're just putting just lubing it up with a little oil. And we're gonna put that in there. Just work it in there, take your time. Okay, so once you align it properly, you should slide in pretty easily. Okay, so get it in there. Got to make sure you get it past the first groove so we can put our little piston ring in there. That's going to hold the piston in place, which is this. Make sure you use a new one. So that ring goes right in there. There's a little groove right there, and it goes right in there. And that's what's going to hold that part in there. It's a little tricky. You just take your time and the ring should go in there. So we're going to use the needle nose plier to set the ring in there, into the groove. Make sure it is into the groove. There it is. And now that'll stop that part from backing out. Okay, next step. So the next step here is on the cylinder head. We're going to replace the gasket and put a new one on there. So you just want to align it and put it on there. Then what we're going to actually do is we're going to rub some little oil in here. Right there. And the oil that I'm using is literally just the 2-stroke oil that you use for your motor. You don't have to put a lot of it in there, but I like to put it on there for the first start. So swipe some in there, get it some lube. Motor might smoke a little when it starts, but it's help with the getting it lubed in there. It's good for it. So we're gonna slide the cylinder head on, and one thing we're taking note again is these 2 little slots here that the piston rings are aligned properly. Sorry for the focus. Let me see if I can get it focus. But that way the rings can actually crush and go into place. If you don't have it on there properly, the rings won't crush in and it won't let the cylinder head slide on. So make sure you get that right. Okay, so there it is. Once you align it properly, it should slide right in. Just take your time, make sure those rings are actually set in properly. And go ahead and slide it on. There you go. Okay. We got the new piston in there. Now we're going to install the rubber gasket in here. It's going to be our next step, and we're going to put the head back on there, which is going to be this one right here. Yep, just put it inside the groove and make sure it's on there nicely. Okay, and the important part here is to make sure this is going that way. All right, next step is to put the 4 head bolts on there and torque it. All right guys, we're going to use a torque wrench now, and we're going to set it to 23 Newton meters. That's what we need to torque these to, or 23 or 17 foot-pounds. So just do a cross pattern. First, just keep tightening them down, and once they finally tighten down, then that's where you're going to start to end up trying to torque them. So don't try to torque one while all the other ones are still loose. So just a cross pattern, and just get it torqued to 23 Newton meters. Okay, there's the first click. Second click, third click, fourth click. That's it, torque down. Next step here is we're going to put the exhaust gasket on there, and then put the exhaust elbow on there. All right, so we installed the 4 nuts there and torqued them down. Next step is we're going to put the spark plug on and reattached exhaust, and she's done. So that's how easy it is to replace the piston on an air conception Tornado 280. So I hope you guys enjoyed that how-to video. Stay tuned for more how-to videos. Visit the website for flyhighparamotors.com for sales of air conception paramotors. And if you ever have any questions, you can give me a call. If you need parts, you can give me a call. I stock parts. So stay tuned, and we'll have more how-to videos for you guys soon. Take care. This is Robert.